If you're ready, welcome to the next stop on your journey from paycheck to pension. If you're ready to take your finances to the next level, you're in the right place. It's time to take control of your future, starting now, and we're doing it live. Hi, we're the Stidhams, and our goal is to help you get self-directed. It's the tax-free income that will shape your legacy. It's wealth, time, and the freedom you deserve. What you're about to learn will enable you to make confident and strategic moves. It means gaining complete control to invest in what you want when you want. We've helped thousands of people just like you. And if they can do it, you can too. So we hope you're ready, because it's about time that your money started working for you. And we're so excited that you chose us to show you how.
Starting right now.
Look at that. It's all on. We're doing great so far.
Starting
Killing
right
it.
now.
Okay, get in here, guys. This is going to be a good one. We have it's good. Yes, it's going to be a good one. Tell them it's going to be a good one, guys. We're going to make it a good one. And the reason why is because it's all about you tonight. That's right, you. You guys who are watching, it's all about you. That's what we're going to focus on. No, not you. I mean, we're really going to focus on them. That's the whole point. All right, we got some folks in here. Get in here. We'll give everybody just a second here before we start rolling out the goods. Thank you all so much for attending. We really appreciate your comments. And the feedback is really important. I think you guys may not understand how important that feedback is to us, but we do take note of it. Everything you guys are saying to us, whether if it's in the comments on the video or when you're on a call with Donnell, he tries to do his best to roll it back for me. And on that note, breaking news, shots have been fired at the length of our live streams, both in the comment section and on Zoom. One eyewitness reported them being horrendously long, and another viewer was only made aware of the giveaway she'd won due to her heroic act of finishing the stream on replay. Authorities are looking into this, and all we know right now is that one host nearly choked on his water, and the other host confirmed her concerns for the length of the live streams. No official word yet, but it seems these two streamers have noted the feedback and will be reducing the length in the coming sessions. Back to you, Donnell.
Yeah, we're gonna try. I think some nights are just they just are what they are. Some nights, not every night, but some nights.
Yeah, we do understand though that, and we agree, time is the most valuable resource that we have, and so we definitely don't want to stretch this out. The reason why, just get this out of the way real quick. The reason why these end up to be so long, one, I'm super passionate and I like to talk. And then the other part is there is so much information that it's hard. Donnell, you say all the time, like it's hard to say, how do I do a summarized version of this without robbing them of some of the detail that matters for these particular situations we're going over? And I can totally understand that. However, some people are like, okay, but honestly, it's long. It's super long. It was quote, and I quote, horrendously long.
And he was like, I really want to watch, like I really do.
Yeah.
But as much as you harp on time and time being critical, I don't have time to spend 3 hours watching you. And I get it.
He was like, I would rather wait days for an appointment than to watch these live streams. Well, we love that you guys are saying that you don't mind them and you love the info, because that's really what it is. But we're not going to, obviously, if it's one person or a couple people, right? The majority enjoy what it is we're doing and how we're doing it. However, this is not about us, right? We're here to serve. So if the feedback is, hey, look, we would like it if you did it in a different format. We would appreciate if you made some of these changes. We are more than willing to hear that feedback. We love the compliments, but we also really appreciate those who have given us that type of feedback. So
yeah, and along the same lines of talking through I feel as though when I get asked a question, I have to provide the detail. Otherwise, the answer could be misconstrued, or an incomplete answer could cause you to make a decision or take a path that doesn't serve you. And so I am more than willing to go into that type of detail around a question that's being asked. I am less likely to go into that detail as it relates to doing the math because I focus on the strategy. And I say this because just before we got on, I was answering a few questions around how the math didn't add up in some way, shape, or form. And there may be times when it does not. I'm focused on the strategy. If you can gain the concept and the strategy and how this works, I'll be honest, then none of that math matters. Because if you can understand the strategy, if you can understand how to leverage your home to be able to build wealth, whether we're talking about a 5% HELOC or a 10% HELOC, that's not the point. The point is, can you leverage your home to build wealth? Are you currently leveraging your home to build wealth? And I'm more focused on that. So that's where those answers become a bit more detailed.
Yeah. Well, I think the other piece is we don't want to be catering to algorithms or some other factor
Yeah.
here when really the whole purpose of getting out here and talking about it is to educate. We can't do that if we're limited to what time frame performs the best or something like that. We
Right.
have the fortunate we are fortunate enough to not have to care about those types of things, but we know that if we're not doing those types of things, then it's like less people that are getting this information. So trying to find like what that balance is. We put shorts out, but you can't explain this stuff in a short. Oh, 10 tips. Like what are we supposed to do?
I love some of the comments because we'll throw up a short and it would be some snippet of some 3 hour conversation that we've had.
Yeah.
And the response is like,
I want my 10 seconds back. Like I want like why even go through the time to
I love
post
that
this?
comment. I want my 10 seconds back. Love that.
Yeah. But what we hope though is that if if we're not able to get, the reach or get YouTube to kind of go help and find us more people, you guys will share it out. But we also understand that a lot of us, and I'm not saying you guys, I'm saying us, a lot of us, because we're all in the same boat here. A lot of us are alone in this journey. A lot of us are the first people in our families. A lot of us are having trying to have those conversations with our family members, and they think we're crazy, or they just want to pretend like they know everything, so they don't want to hear anything new. I mean, can you raise your hand if you've experienced that? I think being here and meeting other people who are on the journey, that is like the icing on the cake. But getting the information, having access to someone who can answer your questions and can kind of go over your situation is so valuable without having to be behind like a paywall or having to subscribe to some membership or course in order to get this information. I think it's just time. It's time that we start breaking even that cycle that we're seeing out here with people who have information others need to know, and we can do a better job of leading in that way, I guess, is just to try to get the information out. So all of that said, I probably just repeated myself 42 times. I watch these replays too, and I realize that I do that. So I noted that.
But it's cute though.
Well, you wanted to talk about, thank you. You wanted to talk about, it's annoying when I'm trying to edit. Um, one of the things that really prompt us to have this discussion tonight was about misinformation, and it's about the what you know and who you have access to and where decisions are made. And so you're going to kind of show some of the reasons why you've been kicked out of the Dave Ramsey groups. I mean, that's not what we're really focusing on, that part, but it is actually why you get kicked out, because you see these people post and you go, these people need real help. However, and I've been in some courses like this, like if you say anything against what their advice is, you're out. Like that's it. They don't want you in there. And I think that we have to be able to have conversations about this stuff, and it cannot be one size fits all. It just can't. And for this information to be like packaged in a way that is one size fits all is devastating people of their opportunities. And so that's where we want to be able to share that. And we heard this phrase called uninformed optimism, And we went, yeah. And I think we've been there too. You know, there's tons of categories where this could apply, of course, but uninformed optimism, and where are you making your decisions from?
Right.
Do you want to just talk a little bit about why you will not put a policy or an application in for people, that not just because they get on the phone does not mean that you will help them apply for an MPI plan
I
specifically?
I had about three of them this week, and that is people get well. First, I really do appreciate a lot of the conversations that I've been having. I think I may have talked to 40 different people this week. There's been a few of them where they get on and they're excited about MPI. They're excited about a secure compound interest account, and they're ready to get started. And I think they're expecting me to just lay out, here's the process, let's go do it. I pull back and I go, well, tell me what you understand about it. Tell me, walk me through why this is even an option for you. What makes this an option for you? What videos have you watched? What book have you read? And as I learn, as you peel those layers back and you learn, 9 times out of 10, they wanted it based off what they saw here. So I think we're doing a really good job of kind of laying out the power of a product like this. But there's still an opportunity to, I think to make sure that people are properly educated before they even want to go down this path. And so I kind of press pause on, hey, I understand you want to get started. Let's first make sure you understand what this is, how it works, what makes it as powerful as it is. And because that's the only way you'll able, because what it takes to be able to successfully have a product like this and be successful with it is time and commitment. So if you don't understand it, how do you commit and how do you put forth that time to be able to follow through? So
Yeah, Anthony or Antonio says, there goes an hour. God, it's so true. Okay, we're gonna do better. Here's what I was hoping that you would cover on this part, and it's the decisions that they make in the future. If you don't get it now, then you don't know how to use it, right?
right,
And not having it now means that later on down the road, 10, 20 years, you're still not leveraging it because you didn't understand it. And what was the point of that? The point wasn't just to get you a plan. The point was to change your future.
right,
And that's really what it is. It's understanding what the leverage is, where your leverage is, what your leverage is, how to use it so that you will use it. It's unfortunate to see so many people who have tools all over the place, right? Because it's just what they trusted someone and said, this is what I was supposed to do. But because we didn't understand what these things were, we didn't even know how to use them, or we didn't really understand what they were actually for. So, like putting more money into your 401k because you got a raise doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a secure retirement. So that's one example of that, where it's like if you don't know what's happening to that money, you also don't know things like 2/3 are being taken for fees, right, from these mutual fund managers. And of course, they will tell you all day to keep putting more money in there because they get paid more for you doing that. And who benefits? Well, what we hope is that if you're here, you will learn how you benefit, and the focus is on you. So tonight we're going to kind of go over the why this education is important, how it could impact your future, and what are those factors that are super influential in impacting your results using some of these strategies. And then we're just going to go jump into the Q&A, so then it's all about you guys and we're not having to wait to get there. So I'm going to stop talking now. You
all
ready
right.
to go in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Here we go.
So to set the stage a little bit, I like to kind of sum up when we are walking into a live. I kind of just think back through a lot of the conversations that I've been having, a lot of discussions that I've been having, and a lot of the consistent or same questions I've been answering. And what's interesting is I just wanted to highlight 2 or 3 areas that have been a consistent theme over the last few days. The first one being, hey, I am fine with the retirement account I have because my company has a certain match, and because my company has a certain match, I will be okay. And that may be true, but when you ask, hey, what is the goal? And you find out the goal is to be able to achieve my same income in retirement, And then you do that math around, okay, you're happy with your current employer's plan. You believe that's going to get you there. Let's do that math on what it's going to take in order for you to be able to achieve your same income in retirement. And then they learn, whoa, there's a deficit here. And then my question is, now how do we close the deficit? Show me the vehicle that you either have in place today or a vehicle that you can put in place to be able to close that gap. And so what I wanted to highlight was I am in a lot of these, I'll call it Dave Ramsey type groups, baby step type groups, because I do honestly believe these are the people that need the help the most. And I ran across a theme this last week on some of the questions being asked or some of the comments being made inside these groups. So I wanted to share a few. And most of them I respond to, but I try to respond to vague enough such that I'm not kicked out of the group because I have answers. I have a response, but I can't necessarily share my response because it's not necessarily in line with the baby steps. So just wanted to highlight the first one. And I know this is difficult to read, so I'll read it. Basically, it's saying, hey, just wanted to show this math on what Dave is talking about when he says anyone can be a millionaire. This is making $15.38 an hour from age 35 to 65, investing 15% with no company match and only getting 10%, which should be somewhere closer to 11. This means you never got a raise, you never got a promotion, you never got cost of living adjustment, and all you did was invest your 15%. How can you not be a millionaire with this math? This is so encouraging. And what it shows is the details inside of a retirement calculator with $400 a month from age 35 to 65 and the end result. The end result being an ending balance around 911,000 off a contribution amount of 144,000 and total interest accumulated of 767. Now, I don't necessarily agree with any of these numbers, but my point is this. 35 to 65, putting in 15%, that's $400 a month over that 30-year period, and having somewhere around $1 million into retirement. And my comment on this video was, but what does that equate to in income? And I was just curious to see who could tell me what this would equate to in income. So I wanted to share with this group. When you're talking about net worth, it is not about how much you have. It's about how much you can receive as income. It's how much you can put in your pocket. It's what can you use to live off. And we don't learn this math until it's time for us to retire. This person here is 35 years of age and is headed down a path enthusiastically that may be taking him in a wrong direction. And I didn't follow the post. So I have no idea if he responded or not, or if anybody responded as to what this math looks like. But what I wanted to do is just take these same numbers over to the calculator and just highlight what this math actually looks like from a secure compound interest perspective, as well as inside of a traditional retirement account or even an ETF. So if you would slide over to the calculator, sweetheart.
Okay.
Welcome back.
My bad. I'm in this chat. It's going down in the chat. It's
Hey,
fun in here.
I got you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So 35 years of age till age 65, putting away $400 a month. What does that look like? Well, I see that as being somewhere around $76,000 a year in income inside of a secure compound interest account, meaning you have a liquid asset cash value of about $740,000. If this same $400 a month was placed inside of a IRA, 401k, 403b, TSP, government 457 plan, and I believe in this example, he was actually using just a plain old ETF. So it should actually be more because there's less in fees compared to a traditional retirement account, but the point is still the point. If he's got 911,000, or as it shows here, 766,000, what's the math? Yes, your net worth has you close to $1 million. That is awesome. But how much income does that equate to when it's time for you to start receiving that income is the question that needs to be answered. And they are all based off the 4% rule, all of them. And some of them might say between 3.5% to 4.5%. Like that's supposed to make you feel better. But at the end of the day, it's based off the 4% rule. And by the time I get to retirement, it's probably going to be more like 3%, if not 3.5%. So as you're looking at your net worth, as you're looking at your retirement, look at it from the perspective of how much income does that equate to? And in addition to that, this is a vehicle with a death benefit. So even though $400 only purchased $172,000 in life insurance, over time, that death benefit equates to all of the cash value plus the growth on the life insurance. So it's these two numbers together, which equates to a death benefit of about 1.4 million. Show me the IRA that can produce a death benefit on top of being able to produce your income. And I think this is a pretty modest contribution because this is assuming no additional income, no raises, no match, no growth between the years of 35 to 65, and still producing $76,000 tax free for the rest of your life. So my point is, long story short, focus less on net worth and more on what is that income bringing you. What is the income when it's time to receive it? And what I like to do is work backwards. Take a look at what that income looks like in the future. Look at where you are today, identify that gap, and then let's talk about how do we close that gap? Maybe closing that gap is not a product like a secure compound interest account. Maybe closing that gap is rentals. Maybe closing that gap is some other process or investment even that will allow you to get to your goal. But if you don't know where you're going, I think, how does it go, sweetheart? If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Any road will take you there. That's right.
So the other one I wanted to highlight was right next to it, and this one is a little bit longer, so I'll read it as well. So if you slide over to the other side, sweetheart.
Yep. We're
So-
on the other side.
Yep. So this one is related to, this is less about math and net worth, but more about a consistent theme that I've been hearing as well. And that is, man, I wish I would have known about this secure compound interest account earlier, because I feel like I am working towards a goal that I will never achieve. It doesn't matter how much money I make. My nest egg is nowhere close to where it needs to be. And I just believe that there's a lot of people feeling this way. So I read what it says. It says, I work so hard because I don't want to be working when I'm old. I work 150 hours or more every 2 weeks to save for my retirement. I'm debt free, minus just my regular expenses. I have enough in savings. I'm financially okay. I'm not rich, but I'm also not dirt poor. My problem is finding balance. The more money I have, the more money I make, the more depressed and unhappy I become. I work so hard that I am missing out on my own personal life. My body hurts, my mind is shorted out, and I feel like I'm in a pit. I have fear of not having enough, and I have fear of not having enough when I'm old. Why am I stuck in this awful work wheel? Work harder so you can retire with money? Doesn't make any sense. I don't want to die with regrets. I don't find myself doing anything that's fun. I'm working toward a goal, but I'm suffering in the process, and I should be content because I am better than most Americans, but then again, I'm not. And I just thought this was pretty powerful. This is a pretty consistent theme that I kind of heard this week as well. Is it's that work rut. It feels like I'm just in this constant state of not enough. And I think the perspective that I was trying to share with the client that mentioned this and the comment that I made on this post was this. We are conditioned to allow our jobs to leverage us. But no one ever taught us how to leverage our jobs. No one ever taught us how to leverage the people that we work with or the companies that we work for. I say this all the time. I gave a lot of great companies a lot of my time. And I made those great companies a lot of money. But when I look back and look at how I benefited, how my nest egg was filled, it pales in comparison. And what I didn't know at that time was, you know what? Just a shift in perspective, this might have looked and felt differently. Meaning, if I would have just leveraged them the way I was being leveraged. And where that starts with the wealth equation. Meaning, the first thing you should do when you receive that paycheck for all of that time that you've been putting forth is to pay yourself first. But we are intentionally not conditioned to do so. We are conditioned to, hey, we got paid. Now it's time to pay bills. And once those bills are paid, now it's got time to go have fun. Now all that fun has been had. Hey, whatever's left, okay, I will save for my future self. But if we just flip that equation around and focus heavily on, you know what? I'm going to pay myself first, take that dollar and put it in a place that will allow me to start building secure, uninterrupted compound interest. And in the process of paying myself first, what I'm doing is building a vehicle that I can soon leverage the way I'm being leveraged by this company that I work for. And that's regardless of age. If I'm building this vehicle, if I'm paying myself first and I'm putting money in this secure compound interest producing vehicle that is secure, it's not impacted by who's president, it's not impacted by inflation, it's not impacted by when laws are changed or not, or who's been elected or not. It's working for me. When it comes time for me to be able to decide whether or not I'm going to allow this job to continue to leverage me, I get a choice. I get to decide whether I'm going to go follow my passion or do something different in this workplace. And so my point to this person that I was responding to is just simply this. It looks like you are tired of being leveraged. Did you realize you have the ability to actually leverage your position and the job that you're in to be able to put yourself in a better position so that you can get out of this pit? And it all starts with pay yourself first. It sounds very simple, but it absolutely takes a commitment from you because we haven't been conditioned to do it this way. And again, that's before you pay a bill, before a dollar leaves your checking account to go to anyone else, you put it in a secure compound interest producing vehicle. And if you don't have one, start with a high yield savings account. But it starts with get used to it. Learn to live off that 10% less, 20% less, 30% less, and pay yourself first. And in the process of paying yourself first, then come find me so we can get it in a vehicle that can actually build money for you. So
He tried to share this concept with his son, and his son he already drank the Kool-Aid on the 401k. And here's the part I think that is missed out of this equation is how do we get so indoctrined into we're not going to pay ourselves first. Matter of fact, we would rather invest into our positions, invest into this company because we're looking for the promotion, we're looking for, the what's next. How do we need to we'll sacrifice today because it means that something else is going to happen in the future. And I think this person is going like, I put everything, like I've given all I can give,
right.
Okay? And it's still not giving financial security. It's not giving best life ever. I hate this. Matter of fact, I opposite of love it 100%. And what is it that kind of sells people on this idea? One, why is it a problem that you even point this out in a group, right? Why are there hundreds of people in a group that would not agree with everything that you just said? Why is that a problem?
Because it's not following the steps. Are we on baby
Because
step
who
5 or
benefits?
4? Because it has to exactly. That's it. That's it. There's no one. If you're winning, that means I'm not. So I have to make sure you don't.
And but I also I don't think that the Dave Ramsey group cares what the job is their employer is getting. They're not getting a kickback from their employer.
I agree.
The Dave Ramsey group is not getting a kickback from these mutual fund managers.
I
The
agree.
Dave Ramsey group is not getting any benefit from continuing to tell people this stuff. One, they can't sell their coaching program if they start saying, hey, everything in our coaching program is a bunch of BS. Then all of a sudden they have no income. So how do they benefit? That's how they benefit.
Well, and I got to push back on the BS part. I believe there are people that need structure. I believe there is a place for the baby steps. I do. I just believe that there is a place to go beyond the baby steps. And what I see in this group is we have to stay in this cycle. There's no instruction. There's no one going, okay, you've done great. You are now debt free for whatever reason. You're now not riddled in debt. That's awesome. Now let me pull you up so because you've now figured out how to save more and spend less. Man, that is awesome. Now let's get you in this vehicle that can actually put you in a position so that you can fire your job.
Yeah. But you can also baby step yourself right into the grave, baby step yourself,
Everyone ends up
your
poor.
life into the trash. You
Everyone ends up
can,
poor.
well, yeah, because essentially what this program is you're on soft foods your whole life.
Right.
Like you never get the steak. You never get into solid foods. Essentially is what he's saying is like you can't handle solid foods. Meanwhile, you're watching them eat solid foods, right?
Right.
That's the crazy part is okay, so I'm going to get off that because this is just going to make the stream longer. Trying, guys.
So there's one last one that I wanted to highlight, and this one is it didn't come out of the DR group, but this is a conversation that I've had a lot this week as well. I've talked with a fair amount of people whose time horizon is like, I'll call it anywhere from 3 to 10 years. Meaning, hey, I'm 61, I'm trying to retire by 65. I'm 58, I'm trying to retire by 62. There's a short time horizon. And as I asked the question, what's the goal? And we talk through the goal and we peel the layers back, I get this question around, or I get this comment around Social Security. Hey, at 67, when I have my full Social Security, then I will. And I always go back to, why wouldn't you take your Social Security as early as possible? And I just wanted to share some math. This is just an average 62-year-old. What is that dollar amount that you're able to take in Social Security starting at 62? And how does that dollar change between the ages of 62 to 70? And then depending on when you take it and how long you live, determines how much you have over time. So I just wanted to highlight some things. So 62 years old, that's 2346 a month, by the way, is what a 62-year-old on average would be receiving in Social Security. Well, if they would have waited till 67, that number would be 3261. And at age 70, that's $4,000 a month. Like, that's pretty powerful. But what does that look like at age 80? Meaning, if you would have started at 62, taking this 2346 at age 80, compared to 70 in 10 years. Well, we're talking about $526,000 by age 80 if you would have started at age 62 taking Social Security. And again, it's less at 67 and it's even less at age 70. Why? Because it's a shorter time horizon. But notice there's a shift the longer you go. From 62 to 90, that 2346 over time is 818. $4,081 over a 20-year period is almost $1 million. Now, here's my challenge though. What are we doing at this age? And I'm not saying that you're not, I'll call it a young at heart, and you're not capable of traveling and having a good time. My challenge is this. If you have the capability of adding another 2346 into your monthly income, what could you do? Because let's say you still wanted to wait till 67 before you used it. That's 5 years. What could you do with an extra 2346 over the next 5 years? Is it possible that you could take that 2346 over the next 5, if not, 8 years, from 62 to 79 years, I guess? What could you do with that 2346? Where could you put it? How could it work for you? How could it go get more employees and actually make this 526 look more like $1 million between this time frame versus waiting here?
For
And so, go ahead.
for what is that? $1,500?
Exactly. And again, I get it though. At age 90, that's significant. But what's the average life expectancy? Average. Does anyone know the average life expectancy as of today? It's not 90.
70 something, 80 something.
It's not 80.
Wait, hold on. Let's see if we get some answers in here. Put your answers in the chat. Okay, Miss B says 87.
It's not 90, and it's not 90, and it's not between 90 and 80.
Okay, 70 something. I'm gonna go with 70 something then.
That's a great
I put
answer.
mine in. All right, 78, 72,
I,
76,
so it's 70. I want to say it's like
73.
77.2 or 77.4. So it's not quite 78. But my point is this. So here, I'll put it in there.
77, you said? I feel like,
Jesus.
you know what we could have done? We could have done like the Price is Right. Who got close but didn't go over? You
Right.
know what I mean? Who got is within a dollar? There's a couple people. Couple people
So
would have been coming up to
so
spin the wheel.
if average life, now I'm not saying you're going to be, I'm not saying you're going to pass at 77. That is not what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't put that on me.
My point is, if the government has this program that may not be here in the future anyway, and you are able to take advantage of that program to add to your income, is there a way that you could take that dollar amount and have it start working for you? That's all. Can you put it
Yeah.
to work for you? Because what you're saying is, you're saying I don't need it at 62. Okay, then don't use it at 62. Put it to work.
Yeah, but by the time with what we went over with inflation, by the time they're 70, they wait till 70 to start taking it. It's only going to be worth the same amount as it was or less.
And
Probably less.
and and Social Security is supposed to be inflation adjusted. Like, I didn't take all of that into consideration. I just wanted to make this clear. Pay yourself first, starting today, and that is at any stage in your life. If you have the opportunity to receive income, pay yourself first before you pay someone else, because you're not promised tomorrow. And with the average life expectancy of 77, waiting till 70 to start taking that $4,000 a month, that math does not math to me.
Yeah, well, it's
So
smart. It's smart to do something like put use those dollars and employ them to go out, find friends, bring more money back.
put them to work.
Yeah.
Put them to work.
Yeah, Greg says, "I'm dying at 81, so I want to start my retirement no later than 70." And
That's weird.
why did it do that again? Okay, so well, we're all dying right now, right? We're just on our we're on the descending leg of this. No matter how we slice it or dice it, we have to get the most life out of our years because we can't put years in our life in the same way, and so we have to be able to take advantage of it. So I really appreciate it. Fletcher's saying let's put it in the calculator,
Let's do it.
the Social Security, and see what that looks like.
That's my point. And okay, I'm 62 years of age. Is the cost of insurance higher for me than it would be for my children or my grandchildren? Yes, that is true. But you did say you didn't need this money at 62. How about this? Give it to me and I'll put it to work.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you have a daughter or a son or even a grandkid, like you have insurable interest, so you can get a policy for cheaper in that way. So he says 5 years at $2,100. Let's go see what it
So
looks like.
5 years is not enough time.
All right, Fletcher, pick a different time.
No, no, no. I think let's do it because I get this all the time. I get this. This is consistent. Matter of fact, I think I had this conversation once today. 60 years old. I'm retiring in 5 years. I'm retiring at 65. And this is the dollar amount that I want to put in, and I'm looking to supplement my income. I like the word supplement because that tells me you're not expecting a large dollar amount. You just want something in addition to what you currently have. So this is a consistent thing, and that's okay.
Okay.
So age 60
Oh, hold on. All right.
and 2100, right?
Yep.
So 2100, again, I go back to 5 years is not long enough. So
But
we're
you get
talking, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
So we're talking $10,000 a year in income. You would have put in 126. You've just hit Like you're right in the midst of one compound cycle. Yes, you have leverage. Yes, you have more than you've put in. And how about this? You have 80 grand less than what you would have had you just put it in a Roth IRA. Like, how awesome is that? But the income is just the math is just, it's just time. Like there's no other way to put this other than if you give this money time. What does this look like if you just add? I'll throw 10 years on top of it. So that's $50,000 a year tax free just because you gave this money more time. You have a nest egg worth $604,000. So rather than pay your home off at 60, meaning you could have used that $2,100 a month to pay your home off, because that's what a lot of people are doing. Because I was told not to go into retirement with a mortgage, so
Right.
I'm going to take this $2,100 and I'm going to put it into my mortgage to pay my home off. Versus putting it in a machine that, you know what, guess what? It could produce $50,000 tax free and pay your home off. Oh, and if something were to happen to you, pass on about 1.3 million to your beneficiaries. All because you took a dollar amount that you said you didn't need at 62 and got it compounding for you. And from an insurable interest, that's based off you at at age 60. What would this same 15-year period look like if you could spread the wealth amongst your insurable interest? Or now you can own a policy. If you, let's say you've got a trust, you can't own a policy on an adult child. You can't own a policy on someone older than 25. So you're 60 years old and you've got a 35-year-old that you're thinking about doing a policy on. You can't. You can't fund it. You can create a trust. How about this? Let's take this $2,100. Let's build a trust. And let's have that trust now open policies on your legacy. So we're going to open a policy. So the policy itself is going to be owned by the trust, and the beneficiary is going to be the trust. So now we're going to take this 35-year-old.
Yeah, well, there was a question in the chat about this. If like spouses who have younger spouses, right? Like
Yep.
married people, one of them is younger, can they get the policy on the younger one?
Spouses. Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I've got several clients like that. Several recent clients like that, actually. But notice, it's a $30,000 difference in just shifting who the policy is on. Notice, I am a licensed life insurance provider. This is a life insurance product, but we are not having a life insurance discussion. When I meet with you and I ask you what the goal is, if you tell me it's life insurance, then okay, I will focus on that. But if you tell me it's income, maybe the best person to put a product like this on is not you. If there is insurable interest and there's an opportunity to insure someone else, maybe to get an additional $30,000 in tax-free income, an additional, what is that, $140,000 in cash value, and this death benefit isn't on you, but my goodness, this death benefit goes into the trust. Now, I'm not wishing anything on your 35-year-old. My point is, this is how you create generational wealth. This is how you create a vehicle such that when the trust does receive this death benefit, every generation from this point forward will never want for another thing. Because all the trust job is to do at this point is distribute income.
Yeah,
And that
it's
income would be
powerful.
distributed based off how you, the trustee of this trust, determined and dictated how that would happen.
Yeah, that's really powerful. We have some other questions. So, okay, one of them is if is there a product that I can bring? Is there a product I can bring so I can bring it to my employer, like an employee benefit using MPI?
That's a
Is
great
there?
question. We are actually so I say this all the time, this will replace traditional retirement accounts. It will. It will absolutely replace traditional retirement accounts. And we absolutely, when you're ready, I've got a whole team of people that I could bring with me to go to your place of business to be able to educate your whoever the executive team might be around how we can transition from traditional retirement accounts over to something like this.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely, that's possible. It's not a problem.
But also a lot of employers, because people want to be able to contribute, they want the tax advantage, they want to be able to also provide match as part of like an employee benefits package. And when they're looking at what are these non-traditional ways of doing that, also a self-directed account. I mean, that's also an option too that a lot of people don't look at, but it is a great option for small businesses with employees, right?
Absolutely. I'm a fan of tax sheltering money. It goes back to paying yourself first. So if you're a business and you are looking to tax shelter dollars to reduce your tax liability, absolutely a self-directed IRA or a self-directed 401k would be a lot better, where you can shelter up to almost $70,000. I think it's like 64.5 or something like that. That you're able to shelter into a self-directed 401k, and then take those dollars and grow them tax free. So there's many different vehicles out here, and what a self-directed 401k would allow you to do is very similar to this: get your money out of the market. And I'm not saying that you would put them somewhere where there's zero risk, but at least getting them out of the market and putting them in real estate or something like that allows you to reduce the risk and have more control over what this money is doing. Matter of fact, I had a client about 2 months ago call me because he wanted to make sure this was even possible. He's buying physical gold. He's using his retirement account to buy, and I'm not talking about those gold funds. He is literally buying physical gold, and there's a mine here in Arizona that he was taking it to have it stored. So there's many different things that you can do. So
Nathan says market MPI as a comparable replacement for the pension and it will take off. We have been saying that for a
this is the
while
return
now.
of the pension.
Yeah.
And again, Nathan, what you're saying is so true, and that is this: how conditioned are we by the Fidelities and the Vanguards and the Morgan Stanleys around the traditional means of retirement planning, the Edward Joneses and all of this? So we have a lot of work to do, but we are we're small. We're a very, very small and minute company kind of forcing this issue. I kind of liken it to that. I don't know if you guys ever seen the Spike Lee's Malcolm X movie. There's this scene where there are people standing on soapboxes on different corners, and they're preaching. All different races, all different religions preaching. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing here. The voice right now is quite small because we don't have that mega church. We are on the corner, standing on a soapbox, trying to help people understand we can outperform traditional retirement planning. And as you walk by, if you stop and listen, hey, I might change your life. But if you walk by, then you walk by. But give us time. You're right. It's marketing. Give us time. We will replace traditional retirement planning. It is. It's inevitable.
Yep. I agree.
Any other questions?
So because we know that we do have so many viewers that are tuning in from the TV. Hello. We want to make sure that you know how to ask questions if you're not a part of the chat. So you can either do this and you can text us your questions, or you can open up YouTube on your phone, you can watch from your TV, but then you can participate in the chat and it's fun in there. Sometimes I have to go off camera because some of the comments make me laugh and you're talking about something serious. But this is where it's going down, and we're kind of forming a community in here. So if you feel like, you know what, I'm watching at home and I'm all alone, you can do that too. And you can jump in the chat, or you can just text us here. And of course, we can't answer your questions live if you're watching the replay. I just want to say that because we do get some people who are watching the replay and texting us in real time. However, if we are available in that moment, we absolutely will. Tell them the story, Donnell. That was so.
So I get on a call with the client, and I can hear my voice in the background.
No, no, no,
And
no, no. When you picked up the phone,
right, that's what I'm saying. And I could hear my voice in the background. And there's this long pause. And the lady was trying to understand if I was talking to her live on the TV. And she screamed when she heard me, and she was like, "Oh my God, am I on TV too?" It's so funny. So funny. I love technology, man.
oh, I love your stories. I think they're so good. After you talk to somebody, I get the rundown, and some of y'all are hilarious. And some of these stories, it's so heartfelt and just keeps us going. So I really, really appreciate all that you guys, and the fact that you feel comfortable enough to have some to share your full story with John L so that he can really work through the details and help you. Like your situation is not just A, B, and C. Like these are my numbers. Your situation is what is your goal, and now we have to talk about that. Maybe this looks different for you. And speaking about that, we do have some more questions coming that have come in.
Mhm.
But I have a situation that I think I'm just going to paraphrase from text. So we're going to go back to the calculator, I think,
Okay.
here. It's if you are a parent, so let's say you're 60, 65, and or let's say you're 55 or 60, and maybe you can't qualify for a plan.
Yep.
This is how I think I understand this comment. So just text a reply if I didn't get this right. And you want to fund your son or daughters, they're 35.
Okay.
Okay. You want to, instead of funding a plan for you, you want to say if they fund their plan, if they were going to put in $500 a month,
Okay.
but I was going to put in $1,200 a month, and we have the agreement that says my 1,200 plus your 500 are going to go into your policy. So then while I'm retired, I can draw income off of that, but then it keeps growing for you once I'm done, using it or whatnot. What would you say to a situation like that? I guess is kind of the question is like, is that possible to do? How is that structured? Have other people done it? What do you say about a
Yep.
situation like that?
Yep. Not a problem. So, and this is a normal conversation, standard conversation, not hard to talk through, but it first starts here. Understanding that, and it sounds like they already do, but I just kind of reiterate just because I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Whether you are not insurable or you are insurable, but you are old enough to the point where it just mathematically doesn't make sense for you to get a secure compound interest account. You have insurable interest over your lineage. You have the ability to open a policy on your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids for that matter.
Oh,
Um, but the question
sorry,
is,
my bad.
no problem, no problem. But the question is, where that insurable interest lies. If we're talking about adult children, meaning someone 25 or over, you can't own that policy. And it sounds like you understand that. So $500 a month is what the 35-year-old is wanting to contribute. You are wanting to add an additional 1,200. Well, you can absolutely support your son or daughter and build a policy with them. But the income generated, the owner of this policy is your child. The owner of the policy is this 35-year-old, not you. So any income generated is owned and able to be used by them. So if the agreement is, hey, when we hit the 15-year mark, whatever that income is, we are going to split it. We're going to do 70-30. I'm going to receive it as your parent because I need it. And in 10 more years, you will then be able to receive it. Whatever that agreement is, if it's 500 plus 1,200, which is 1,700 total, what's the percentage of the 500 compared to the 1,200? And that same percentage is what translates into the income when there's income being produced. So can you do it? Yes. It's not an agreement that I can be involved in, that the life insurance company would be involved in. This is an agreement between you and your son or daughter. And
Okay,
how that
can you?
transitions, it transitions. The way around that is to have a trust own this policy, and you both are funding the policies through the trust. That's the way you get around this, and then you lay out those details from the trust as to how this money would be distributed so everyone is treated fairly. So to do that math, so 35, and I'll continue the 15. It was $500 a month plus 12, which is $1,700 a month, I believe.
Yep, yep. And they're 60. They're 62. I just got that information.
Got it. But I don't think they're waiting till the son or daughter 62. The time horizon around, oh, so they're 62. So I would say maybe 15 would be pushing it because now they would be 77. If that's okay, then this is what that would look like. We're talking $68,000 tax free for life. But let's back this number down a little bit. So they're 62. What does this look like when they're let's call it 70, which is another 8 years. So 8 plus 5 is 43.
Yep.
So we're talking $20,000 tax free starting 8 years later. So by the time that you are 70 years old, you're able to take $20,000 tax free from this point forward. Now, maybe the son or daughter continues to fund the policy for the 500, meaning you take the 20 and you continue funding the policy at some dollar amount, maybe not the full 1700, but maybe at the 500 that the son or daughter was already capable of doing. What that means is this policy would continue to grow, and once the parents are done taking that income, that additional income would be available for the son or daughter to continue down that path as well. So this is absolutely a machine that the family could get on board with funding so that everyone can benefit from. And I think this is a novel concept around what does it look like to bring the family together to, focus on throwing money in a vehicle that can produce income. And then we figure out as a family how to distribute that income. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, well, and I think that it's powerful to be able to combine the amounts too, because now you're able to get it compounding faster.
Right.
So if you don't qualify, it's saying that does not mean that your opportunity is lost. It just means let's get a little creative and see where your opportunities are. And that's where I think a lot of people who might go, well, I don't think I would qualify if I have to run a health exam or something like that. I don't think I've already know I've got some issues going on, so I won't qualify. This is not an option for me. Well, we just showed this is now an option for her, even though she's pretty sure she wouldn't qualify. Now she can use it in the same way. And on top of that, show what it would look like at if he continued, her son continued to fund the policy.
Right. Because, and I also want to highlight something here, and I think I unintentionally forgot to mention it. There's this thing called max insurability. So what does this look like? Let's say 55. So 20 years, the son or daughter's, 55 years of age. We're talking about $125,000 tax free 4 years before retirement age that they're able to take this $125,000 tax free. It's a $1.1 million liquid cash value amount with a death benefit of somewhere around $4 million. Pretty amazing. All because mom and son or daughter decided to put their heads together and try to figure out a way to support each other. What's so funny, sweetheart?
It's the chat. It's the chat. You
You
guys are
cute.
funny in here. Pinnacle says, at least it was boys to men. He knows I'm just in here clicking buttons. And he's like, but you know that boys to men. Okay, who is the insurance carrier?
We've got a few that we work with. They are all A+ rated life insurance companies. Been around 100+ years. They're mutual life insurance companies. So there's a few of them out there. It just really kind of depends on where you qualify, where you sit. But they are all absolutely A+ rated life insurance companies. Been around since 100+ years. Absolutely.
Okay. If I get MPI using the equity in our house as the debt tool, is the insurance and the debt benefits on my wife and I?
So this is a life insurance product, meaning if you're getting a premium finance strategy, secure compound interest account designed for income, it's by individual. So you can have one on you, you can have one on your wife, you can own the one on your wife, or your wife can own her own. But the bottom line is these would be individual policies. And it's at the end of the day, it's just math. Let's say you and your wife are of the same age and of the same health. Well, if you're wanting to put away $1,000 a month total, 500 for you and 500 for her, if you allow the same those two separate accounts to compound for the same period of time, it's no different than one account for you for $1,000. Meaning it's just math at the end of the day, assuming similar health and similar time horizon.
Yeah. But for those who can't qualify, and here's Brenda's question. She says, what is the qualifier for the plan? I may have missed it earlier.
Qualifier for meaning what does
How
it
do you
take to?
qualify? Yeah. How would you not qualify? Maybe that's what she's
Yep.
asking.
So to qualify for any cash value life insurance product, you do have to be healthy. And look at it from the life insurance company's perspective. The life insurance company is betting on you, right? They're betting that you will outlive whatever this death benefit is that they provide you. In order to do that, you have to go through underwriting to determine, hey, how's your health? And that requirement really looks like this. It starts out as an application. You raising your hand saying, put me in the game, coach. And we fill out an application and we send that application over to the underwriters. In 24 to 48 hours, you will either get a phone number to call to set up a health exam, or you'll do a health exam over the phone, one of the two. And that exam looks like this. We got a traveling nurse coming to the house, and they're going to take your blood pressure, check your heart rate, weigh you, maybe draw blood, might have to pee in a cup, but very non-intrusive. Takes no more than 15 minutes. And once those results are sent over to the underwriters, they're going to spend the next few weeks building you a contract. What can disqualify you? Some type of chronic illness that you're dealing with that you have decided not to address. And I always use diabetes as an example, meaning, hey, I'm a diabetic. I've been dealing with this for years, and I have decided YOLO, whatever happens, happens, not worried about it. There's no record of insulin or doctor visits, or there's no record of any of that. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be very hard to insure you because the life insurance is gambling based off the fact that you have this condition that you are not taking any action to address, compared to the person who has this condition, was diagnosed a while back, is consistently taking their meds, have control of their weight, and there's documentation stating such. Maybe you're not qualified at the preferred rating, but you are still qualified and able to, have a product like this. So there's a full range of what that would look like.
It's like betting on a horse.
But think about it. Like,
it is.
But hold on, because you bring up a really interesting point. Life insurance has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
We've been buying life insurance since forever.
Well, no, there's only a certain group of people who've been buying life insurance since forever, to be fair.
We going there?
Well, we can. You want to go there? We can, but it's just facts, right? It's just a part of our history.
You're 100% correct. Yeah. And all I'm saying is we are used to going to a State Farm and buying life insurance, and the life insurance is gambling on the fact that, you know what, they're going to outlive this. So I'm not even concerned about it. So all these premiums that you're putting into this policy, we as the life insurance company are going to compound it. We're going to make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off you. And then when you don't pass, all of that money you spent just goes away. And God forbid, if you do pass, okay, you get the death benefit, but all of that money that they've compounded, all that money they've made off you, you never see. Why? Because you end up you buying life insurance only, when the death benefit is actually 2 numbers, the cash value plus the life insurance. But because you didn't know that, because your policy is not structured like that, you benefit from none of it.
Right.
And that's been the consistent thing.
Yeah, and I love Nathan's comment. That kind of family finance would be a great way to teach the upcoming generations, and we have to teach them because the world is looking different every generation, and how are they going to survive if they don't have financial literacy, and specifically financial strategies, right? So this is, I think, a good moment to bring in and talk about the boat. We use this concept to talk about this, the family bank, and this concept, this token in our home is around this story, and we want to share it with you guys. We're going to share it as much as we possibly can because, Nathan, this is exactly what we're talking about. It is who is in the boat and being committed to an idea so that it not just stays with you and in your mind and what your goal is and what your plan is, but it can carry forward because you now have a mantra. You now have an anthem that is being like the new family crest, right? Are your commitments to what the future generations are going to look like. So we want to share that with you guys. So hold on just a second. In 1998, a British rowing team dreaming of the Olympic gold found themselves ranked 7th. Their focus had always been on the competition day, but they realized the keys to reaching their highest potential were hiding in the decisions that they'd make over those next 2 years.
Faced with 2 obvious choices, continue their current path and expect the same result, or give up. They discovered a third transformative option. They united under one guiding question: will it make the boat go faster? Every decision, every action was weighed against this mantra. If the answer was yes, they could or would have to do it.
If the answer was no, it was forbidden, non-negotiable. Prior to the competition, this team was doubted and ridiculed, but no one knew what they had been doing. And once they hit the water, they were nearly unrecognizable, achieved their pinnacle, and won the gold. So we ask you,
What is your goal? What are you willing to do to achieve it?
will your story feel unrecognizable, even to you? Are you willing to light your beacon and stay focused, stay committed? Is your story non-negotiable, or are you waiting to find out how you ranked? Your financial future is not a game. You are only competing with yourself and those in the boat with you, your family, and the many generations to come.
Will this make the boat go faster? A sounding alarm, a beacon of clarity amidst turbulent life decisions.
It's not just about speed, but direction, purpose, and an unwavering commitment. Every choice, every sacrifice aimed at the goal.
The first agreement this team made was to become fully self-directed, making their health their wealth, adopting a new perspective on their time and freedom, and the decisions they could fully control to reach their goal.
Will we make your boat go faster? That is our pledge to you. Our mission is to arm you with knowledge, strategies, and insights to ensure that not only you reach the goal, but you do so long before your race is over. Well, here we are. That needs to be turned down, I think.
Horses.
Yeah, you know I get so distracted by this kind of stuff. Let's just take the edge off a little bit. I know I'm the one who sets the volume. He says it all the time, like, you know, you're the one that sets the volume to these things. Okay, so here's the boat. It's what we're talking about, and this is what we're giving away.
And y'all know I can't swim, right?
Yeah, that's why I put Donnell in a life preserver. No, why do I have wrong way pointing disorder? There it is. Yeah, I put him in a life preserver because he can't swim, makes him a little nervous being put in water. So that's what I learned here. Are you feeling safe?
I'm good.
Okay, so we're gonna give away another boat. So that's what we're gonna do. Now you know why we give away these boats. We hope that that's way better, hearing it that way, than to hear it from me, just saying it in different ways every time. It's such a powerful concept. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. And it's something that you can share with other people too. So that sentiment, when we say in our home, will it make the boat go faster? It is like this reset button, it is like a button that we press, and everyone knows what that question means. You don't have to have a full-on conversation anymore, because now we just ask, well, does it make the boat go faster? Or we say, I need to explain this to you because this has to do with the boat, right? And so when you have those kinds of conversations happening in your home, and it becomes a part of your language in this way, whether if it's you and your family or you and your friends even, right? Your team, whatever it is, this is a powerful concept, and we love to share it. So we're going to do that now. Let me see.
Wheel.
Yeah. Oh gosh, now I don't know which one it is. Oh, I get to preview. Oh no. No. It's not the right one. How do I get the right screen? Oh geez. Okay. Well, when you want to dig into the questions while I figure this out, and then I'll bring up the.
Sure. So I'll go down all the way down to the bottom. Work my way up.
Okay. Oh, I think I had to reload it. Oh yeah. That's what I had to do. Don't mind me.
Nathan's talking about he needs some merch, man.
Some what?
What is the goal? I still need merch with that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got you. Matter of fact, we do. We have some stuff coming. It connects to our YouTube channel, so you'll see it at the bottom here pretty soon.
So looks like we got one. How does the life insurance portion work with MPI? And if I understand specifically what you're referencing, the life insurance, so MPI is a premium finance strategy. You came back on, by the way. The MPI is a premium finance, at least to me. Maybe you didn't anywhere else. MPI is a premium finance strategy, and the thought process is this: you're purchasing a life insurance based product. So you're purchasing permanent life insurance in the form of an IUL, an index universal life insurance policy. It's no different than any other IUL you can get from anywhere else. Premium financing, or MPI, is a strategy applied to that IUL. So this is no different. How does the life insurance portion work? It works no different than any other permanent life insurance product. If something were to happen to you, whether that's day one or day 51 or 51 years, if something were to happen to you, some loss of life would occur, the death benefit would then be paid out to your beneficiaries. The key piece here is the words death benefit. A lot of people think death benefit means one number, meaning the life insurance. But in truth, the death benefit is actually two numbers. It's the life insurance plus any cash value that you've accumulated that hasn't been used. And the way this product functions is the income that you're taking is actually a percentage of the cash value. And that percentage that's taken, or that distribution that's taken of that cash value, the growth on that cash value is actually more. So, high level example: you've got $1 million in cash value. That $1 million is making on average 13%. Well, the income taken from this $1 million in cash value is specifically noted at around 10 to 11%. So if you're taking a distribution of 11%, but your $1 million is making 13, notice you're just living off the interest. And because you're living off the interest, you never touch the million. So when or if you pass, that death benefit includes all of the life insurance that was purchased. Let's say if it was $250,000, $300,000, or whatever the case may be, plus the cash value that was accumulated, which is that $1 million, and any of that growth. And so that's where these 2.3, 2.4, $1.8 million death benefits come from, because it's $2 amounts, not just one. So hopefully that long way answered that question.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay. Yeah. I think we are. Let's go. Oh, yeah. We'll just do it this way. Can you guys see that even? They can see it, right? You guys can see it? No, that's not a good one. Okay. We need the wheel to be exciting. I'm gonna fix what it looks like, but I need to. You can't like set it up ahead of time. I'm learning. Okay, so ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Space bar.
No whammies, no whammies.
Yeah, we need like a. I guess that's me.
Kenzo.
Kenzo.
Congratulations, Kenzo. So Kenzo, if you don't mind, and sweetheart, if you put up the phone number again, if you text me to the phone number below, or text either one of us to the phone number below with your address, we will absolutely get this vote out to you.
Yes, just let's see here. Let me go find it. There's so many. Here we go. Well, you haven't liked it yet? Give us some likes. Subscribe. Some people were asking also, how do we find the link to you live? They're struggling each week to find the link live. And I'm curious, have you subscribed? Because if you hit the subscribe button, then you hit the notification bell that's right by the subscribe button, then you'll get the notifications. As soon as we go live, it'll just push it out to you, and then you just click on the notification and come in. So that's a better way of doing it. So if you didn't know how to do that, now you know.
And I'm
And
gonna be honest, I didn't know.
well,
I
now
didn't.
you know too.
I didn't.
Look at us all learning together. We're all learning together. Okay, so now we've done the boat. We can do another one here in a little bit. But I love you. I love the feedback, and thank you guys so much for giving me that feedback, because I wanted it to be powerful, and I wanted to have a way of sharing this, which didn't rely on me having all the right words in the right moment and the right time. It just does not sit the same as hearing exactly what the story is. So really appreciate that. All right. Well, let's get back into some questions here in just a moment.
And just so you know, I started from the bottom, so I didn't know if you had a routine or a
STIPHUN. Name comes highly recommended.
I was going to surprise you that I added that in there. So that song, we actually have a song, a Stidham song for Father's Day 13 years ago. It was his 13th year of being a dad, and now it was 13 years ago. So it's like that's a good. It's compounding your fatherhood, and and so that was from the song that they had made for him. So we're throwing it in the stream. We're throwing it in the stream. All right. So let's see here. I know we've got more questions. Um,
have we done this one? I don't know if we did or not.
well, no, go ahead. Yeah.
So I have to insure my wife. She's healthy, a healthy 57. We can start ASAP to insure and get income at 70 plus. So it sounds like that time horizon is 70. So that's 13 years, which is pretty good. 70 plus, a little bit more. I didn't see a dollar amount, so I can make up one. And this is usually what I do. Most couples are making somewhere around six figures. So if you're making six figures and the objective is to be able to put yourself in a position so that you're achieving that six figures, you just have to be kind of somewhat aggressive about it. So at age 57, let's pull it over. At age 57, and again, you said 70 plus. So you know what? I'll go ahead and throw 75 in here since you threw 70 plus. So if I just keep the 1700 that's there, what I was going to say was I know it's somewhere around 2 grand a year is 2 grand a year, 2 grand a month is what that dollar amount would look like if you're trying to get to that six figure income. So $97,000 tax free. I'm going to call that six figures. You know, obviously if you were making 100,000 after taxes, it's actually less than 97. So that 97,000 I think is right around there. But that's what this would look like. You would have a nest egg of somewhere around 868,000, a death benefit of right around 2.1 million. The original purchase of life insurance would be right around 432,000. So that's the amount on day one. But over time, but notice something to just highlight here. If you were to take that dollar amount and keep it in your company's 401k, keep it in your company's 401k. So 432,000 inside your company's 401k, making somewhere around 10%. We're talking 1.1 million inside your company's 401k compared to 868,000. Like that's a drastic difference. But again, I am not focused on net worth. Someone's financial advisor is telling you this 1.1 million is more than 868. And they're actually right. But the issue isn't net worth. Usually when your financial advisor talks to you about how much money you have in your account, they speak in terms of net worth. Why is that? Because they know speaking in terms of the 4% rule, what you can take as income would be borderline disrespectful, because there's no way in hell 1.1 million is supposed to equate to only $47,000 in income. Compared to a vehicle like this, 868,000, because you're able to take a distribution of somewhere around 10, 11, in some cases 12%, that's $97,000 tax free. And because the growth on your money is somewhere around 13, 14, 15%, all you're doing is living off the interest, so you never eat into this cash value. Whereas the difference between these two dollar amounts is you're taking a withdrawal, and that withdrawal is 4%. So 4% is 47,000, which means that once you take that withdrawal, this number is now $47,000 less. The hope is that you will grow enough in this account to compensate. So again, this is based off 10%. The hope is that you would grow enough in this account, 10%, to pay for the amount that you've taken out in a distribution so that you don't run out of money. And that's why that 4% rule exists. Anyway,
Hey.
sweetheart.
Nope. I think we're good now. I don't think I've missed any more. So now I think we're.
So
Oh wait, my bad. You want to go back to the calculator? What
no,
is
go ahead.
happening right now? Here we are. Okay, we're back. Is there something else you wanted to go over?
So the last thing I just wanted to highlight was I just wanted to step through the wealth equation one last time, because that was the whole point of today, is to kind of just highlight paying yourself first, so that you can leverage your own relationship with your company to be able to use them the way they've been using you. And because you understand now, every time you walk in the door, what you're focused on is you're focused on how can I leverage my job to be able to skim off the top, take that money, pay myself first into a secure compound interest vehicle. So I just wanted to highlight the wealth equation. And then the last piece is we spend a lot of time talking about the vehicles and sharing the information, but none of that matters if it's not the right person involved. So I just wanted to highlight that, and then we can hightail it
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So again, I just wanted to just reiterate the wealth equation. The whole objective is to put your money in a position such that you can reduce the risk. The more risk you reduce, the more income that you're able to produce. And so the wealth equation looks like this. Pay yourself first today, not tomorrow. Pay yourself first today. Put that money somewhere where it's secure, meaning reduce the risk. Maybe you can't eliminate the risk, but put your money in a position such that risk is reduced. So regardless of who's president or what year it is in the stock market, your money is still growing. And then you compound it. You teach your money how to make its own money. And the piece that turns more millionaires into billionaires is the use of other people's money. It's leverage. Putting your money in a vehicle where it can exponentially grow due to the use of leverage. So it's pay yourself first, starting today, somewhere secure, compound your money, and then you exponentially grow your money. If you can do that, you can put yourself in a position such that you can produce uninterrupted secure compound interest for the rest of your life. The last piece I wanted to talk about was this, and this was brought up on one of my calls because I shared it a while back, so I just wanted to reintroduce it. The whole goal of this live is to share information. And when we share this information, the objective is to unlock some areas that maybe you didn't know exist. And so the way you achieve results is you first have to have the right knowledge. Once you have the right knowledge, and that's the RK, once you have the right knowledge, then you look to be able to take that right knowledge and impart it on to the right vehicle. And so if you can put this knowledge that you now have as it relates to self-directed IRAs and 401ks, infinite banking, velocity banking, first position, second position HELOC, a secure compound interest account. Take this knowledge and then you identify what vehicle works best for you so that you can start building income. You're a third of the way of producing results. The one piece that will prevent you from achieving your goal is the RY, and that is you. You are the most impactful person in this equation. The right knowledge plus the right vehicle plus the right you is how results are determined. And the reason this is created as an inverted pyramid, this is the most critical part of this equation. Without this piece, without you being aligned, without you understanding the conditioning that we've been forced into. I was going to say you, but it's actually we. Without understanding the conditioning we've been forced into throughout our life. We've been taught to believe that banks, life insurance companies, financial institutions, tax attorneys, you name it, all have our best interests at heart. And the truth is they do not. So as we share the knowledge, as we identify the right vehicles, it's understanding what is it internally that needs to be addressed so that we can take advantage of these different opportunities. So the right knowledge plus the right vehicle plus the right you is how results are achieved. And I just want to make sure I highlighted that. So if there's any questions about how this works, please feel free to throw it in the chat, but I just wanted to leave it at that. The whole objective here is to produce results. And you produce those results with the right knowledge, the right vehicle, and the right you. That's it.
Oh man, look at this one. This all starts by listening to the right people.
Nice.
Appreciate you too. Yeah, that was well played. Man, that was smooth. So smooth. Yeah. He threw that right on in there. Okay, did you put up the website yet? Yeah, I'm going to put it up right now. Yep. Okay, Valerie says, what is the process to take the distribution when comes time for retirement?
It's a great question. Today it looks one way. In the future, it will look different. Today, we are in the process of teaching a life insurance company how to distribute income. That is not their MO, right? So today, if you wanted income out of your secure compound interest account, you would have to go online, click on withdrawal or click on participating loan or whatever those steps are, and then have those dollars transferred to your checking account in 3 to 5 business days. It's very manual. And so, excuse me, if we're talking about income, annual income or monthly income, you would have to do this every month or every 2 weeks. You would have to go into that account and make sure that money is being transferred. That's how it looks today. It's very manual. And it's basically because we are teaching a life insurance company how to distribute income. The way it looks in the future is this is no different than Social Security. You set up the terms. Hey, maybe you qualify for $100,000 a year in tax-free income. Maybe you only need $30,000 in tax-free income to go along with what you currently have. And everything else you want to stay and continue to compound. So you kind of detail how you want these dollar amounts distributed, whether it's monthly, bi-weekly, quarterly, annually, whatever you decide, and then it's automatically transferred to your account. So that's how it looks in the future, but today it's very manual.
Okay, next one. Brenda says, how do I get my coins from my employer to self-invest? I'm age eligible to withdraw.
Yep. So it's about structure. And that's kind of what I focus on. If you have any business that's any 1099 income, any LLC, any S Corp, any C Corp, you, as long as you don't have any full-time employees, you qualify for your own retirement account. Again, just having 1099 income, maybe you do Uber on the weekends or whatever. Having an LLC, having S Corp, having C Corp qualifies you for being able to have your own retirement account. So as a result, I would create a brand new self-directed, or they also call it solo 401k for you and would link it to that business. Once that 401k is linked to that business, I don't need to know anything about what you have in your previous employer's plan. None of it. My job is just create the structure, the proper structure to link to your business. Once that is linked, you now just transfer the funds from whatever custodian they're with into your new passive custodian that houses your 401k. Once those funds are transferred penalty-free and tax-free, you now have full access to those funds to be able to go grow them outside of the stock market. And so you are able to grow if these are tax deferred dollars, you have the ability to now continue to grow them tax deferred. If you're moving over Roth dollars, you're now in a position to be able to continue to grow them tax free. So that's one way. One question I would have as it relates to that, though, is if you are not an active investor, meaning if you are not, I'll call it educated around how to make your money grow, you could actually be hurting yourself putting those dollars here because this account doesn't move unless you move it. This money doesn't grow unless you're growing it. So you have to be, I'll call it, versed enough to be able to understand what to do with those funds. And what you can do with those funds are borderline unlimited. It would be faster for me to tell you what you cannot invest in versus tell you what you can. And what you cannot is S Corp shares, collectibles, and life insurance. Those are the only 3 things you cannot invest in. Everything else, it's wide open.
Okay, Ruben says, as a service member, can a TSP be self-directed? What is the process?
Yep. So a qualified money is qualified money is qualified money. So an IRA, a 401k, a 403b, a TSP, a government 457 plan, a SARS, I think it's called a SARS. They're all the same. They're all qualified dollars. And when I create a solo 401k or a self-directed IRA for that matter, they can be transferred penalty-free, tax-free into those vehicles, which would allow you to have full access over them. So it's not a problem.
I don't know if this is a question or a comment. I haven't gotten finished reading it yet. If you do a direct transfer from your 401k to an IRA and then transfer it to a self-directed account, cannot be done within a year or the same year.
Who said?
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? Okay. This is terminology. And this is how they get you. This is another one of those we're about to look behind the curtain.
Let's get into it.
So rollovers. You can only do a certain number of rollovers within a year. He is 100% correct. But that's the word rollover. Matter of fact, I know this for a fact because I used to deal with Fidelity. If you go to your Fidelity online account, click on withdrawal, it's going to ask you 3 questions. Do you want to take a full-blown withdrawal? Do you want to do a rollover or do you want to do a transfer? What they won't tell you is a rollover and a transfer is the same thing. You can do unlimited transfers, but you are limited to the number of rollovers, and they are literally the same thing. This is how banks, custodians dupe you into having more control over your money. The whole objective here is to prevent you from being in control. The whole objective here is to stop you from being self-directed. So there's these little terms and this little nonsense that's thrown at you, not for any substance. There's no meaning behind it or no backing behind it. It's purely to prevent you from being able to take control. So a rollover, you can only have a certain number of rollovers within a year's time, but transfer is unlimited. You can transfer dollars from back and forth between accounts as many times as you want, and they are literally the same thing.
Sir, he's asking a question though. He did send in the clarification, so I just want to
Pause.
get in here. He's saying, can it be done within the same tax year, or would you have to wait for the next tax year?
No, you can transfer dollars between qualified accounts as many times as you want, as often as you want. Now, when I'm creating self-directed IRAs and 401ks, there are certain times of the year that we have to be careful of. And usually that's the end of the calendar year. And I know I'm going to get this wrong because I don't have a reason to remember it. But I believe I can create a self-directed IRA for the previous calendar year up until tax day of the following year. What does that mean in English? For 2022, I can create a self-directed IRA up until April 15th of 2023 for the calendar year of 2022. But with a 401k, it has to be by December 31st of 2022. And a lot of times I get those two mixed up, so I might have them backwards, but I think you get my point. My point is there are some dates that we have to be conscious of, but other than that, there's no other limits on when you can move money into or out of one of those accounts.
All right, I want to just real quick, I want to give away another boat.
Of course you do.
I want everybody to have a boat. All right, let's do this. I need a good. Hey!
That's what's up.
I love that.
Charles,
All
you
right.
deserve it.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves it.
Everybody's
Charles,
going
you
to get a
deserve
boat.
Charles has been with us since, I think Charles was our first, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Charles was our first attendee on our live.
Yeah,
He might
for
have been
sure.
number one.
Yeah, there was a day. I know it's kind of we're in a different season now, but there was a day when we were like, oh, 4 people came. That's amazing, and Charles was one of them. Charles, you know what? Charles knows the backstory that we've told you guys all last time. And he was showing up to like encourage Donnell, like, hey, no,
You
don't
can do
quit.
it.
No, we need you to stick
Hang
with
in
it.
there. Don't leave.
Yeah, he sure was. So, okay. Well, on that note, though, we did hear the feedback, and we did say that we were going to do better. So I think now is a good time to go ahead and put that,
Button it
land the plane. Yeah, right. So we always like to say we do, if we've learned nothing, we know that time is our most valuable asset, and we have to leverage it starting now.
Amen.
So, and it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter who you know. It doesn't matter what the last 20, 40, 50 years look like. If you did not come from a wealthy family,
We can make sure that a wealthy family comes from you.
so stay focused,
Stay protected.
stay tuned.
Stay connected.
My name's Angelique,
And I'm Donnell.
and our goal is to help you.
Get self-directed.
All right, if you haven't seen our free resources or grabbed them, now is the time to grab them. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you on Sunday.
Have a good night.
Hey, before you go, we want to remind you that becoming fully self-directed means gaining complete control over your wealth, time, and freedom. It's not just an idea. It's a framework, a mindset, and the power to make informed decisions to secure your future. Being here means you're taking those steps, and we want to thank you for allowing us to guide you. We believe that we grow farther and faster when we grow together. So tune in next time and tell a friend to tell a friend. We've helped thousands of people just like you start their journey to financial freedom. And if they can do it, you can too. And if you're ready to learn more, we got you. Get a head start by grabbing these 2 free books. But how do they get them, Donnell?
Head over to my website where you'll have access to a few things. A ton of free resources, case studies, and over 100 5-star reviews from people just like you. And in 15 minutes, we can explore what's possible for you. So don't wait.
Invest in what you want, when you want.
But first, let us help you
Get self-directed.